Alrighty, welcome back everyone to Phasmophobia. Hope you're all having a lovely day. We are going to cover Edgefield today in the Hiding Guide, the second map of this playlist. Even though this map is compact, you do still have quite a few options available for hiding. In order for these hiding spots to work well, make sure your electronics are turned off and that the ghost does not see you enter a hiding spot. You do not want the ghost to find you or follow you into your hiding spot. Just like in Tanglewood, we will cover all hiding spots in great detail. Some you might know about already, but some of them you might not know have even existed. There will be two parts. The first part is an overview of the hiding spots, and the second part is the gameplay. And each of these two parts are timestamped. Let's not waste any more time, and we will get right into it. Alright, so on to Edgefield, and as you can see, we have quite a bit of hiding areas available, a lot more than you might expect. So let's start off with the official hiding spots first. And on the main floor, there's only two. We have a locker here, and then we have a shelf in the utility room here. This hiding spot here in the utility room is the only official furniture hiding spot on Edgefield. And the rest are just closets or lockers. If we go upstairs, we have a total of 2, 4, 5, 6 closets. So you have a lot of closets available upstairs. In the basement, you only have just the one locker, and overall, you have a total of 9 hiding spots that are official on Edgefield. Alright, so on to the unofficial hiding spots for Edgefield. Let's start on the main floor here. So here, you just hide behind this little cabinet here, and the ghost will not see you. The only way the ghost will see you is if it crosses here. And if the ghost enters this area here, you're in a bit of danger, and if you have incense on you, you should cleanse the ghost. And then let's go to the dining room next, because I want to talk about this table here. So pretend that's the table. Now, this spot, I would not feel safe there, because what happens is, if the ghost crosses this line here, it will see you over top of the table, and you will either have to cleanse and hope the ghost doesn't come back, or you have to cleanse and run away. But you do have options available. You can run over here, you can run into the garage here, you could also run into the basement or over here. Now, what is this spot over here? This is actually a little china cabinet that you would hide behind, and in the china cabinet, I would actually feel a little safer than this spot here, because at the very least, you have less ground to cover if you have to escape, and every second counts during a hunt if you're trying to escape the ghost. Next, let's go to the garage here, and there are a couple of options, one of which is a bit better than the other. So over here, you have a little shelf that you can hide behind, and the downside with this is if the ghost goes over here, it will see you. So be careful with hiding there. Make sure you have incense on you. But if you're hiding with the lockers here, pretend this is a locker here. You can angle the doors like this. And if you're inside there, the ghost won't see you, and it will not get you unless it tries to open the doors or it goes inside of your hiding spot. So if you're hiding in the garage with no hiding available, then that's what I would do. The living room also has some options available. So you have this spot here and this spot here. You have another china cabinet available, and then you also have a little table there that you can hide behind. Now, this spot here is not as safe because the ghost doesn't have to go into the living room very far for it to see you. In fact, if the ghost goes into the living room, then you should cleanse the ghost. Whereas if you're hiding over here, the ghost won't see you if it's over here or in this little area here. It will not get line of sight of you unless it goes far enough into the living room. Then it will see you. That being said, this spot is still pretty good, and it's pretty good for an orange. The reason why is because if the ghost is not hunting in this room, or this part of the basement, then you're actually pretty safe there. Just as long as you don't loop the ghost, or you call it over, or get its attention, then you'll be fine there. All right, so now onto the basement. You actually do have some options available. Let's start off with a locker over here. Now, just like with the garage, you can form a triangle with the doors, and if you're hiding inside of that triangle, you'll actually be fine, and the ghost won't see you. It will not get you unless it decides to go into that spot there. Then you have these two spots here. Pretend these are shelves. So I'm just drawing some shelves here just to kind of visualize what the room looks like. And there's a reason why this spot here is more safe than this spot here. If the ghost comes down the stairs and it goes over here, it will actually see you hiding over here and it will path over there and get you. This spot I'd recommend having incense on you, whereas over here, whereas over here, if the ghost paths over here, it actually will not see you. And the reason why that's the case is because there's a box on the shelf that's blocking line of sight. So the only way the ghost will actually see you over here is if the ghost decides to path over here. Now, that being said, each spot is kind of situational. So what I mean by that is sometimes the ghost will path over here more often, and sometimes the ghost will path over here or over here more often. All I know is the ghost likes to go up and down the stairs a lot, and that's because it likes to set a waypoint either directly above or directly below where it spawns. So keep that in mind. And then finally, we have the upstairs section of the map. And there's something interesting over here. We'll get to that in a sec. But first, let's start off with the blue bedroom here. There's a couple of options available. You do have this closet here that is blocked, so you will have to angle the doors in on yourself or angle the door this way. You actually used to be able to hide here. However, because the player model got bigger, you are not able to hide there anymore. There's also this cabinet here, which is not the best spot. And the problem with that spot specifically is if this door is open and the ghost is coming up the stairs, it will actually see you through the little openings through the drawer here. And because of that, it will path over here and get you. So if you were hiding behind this little cabinet here, make sure this door is closed. And the only way the ghost will get you from here is if it decides to walk into this room. And it will get line of sight of you if the ghost is over here. Then we get to the nursery, and there are a couple of spots in there that are not the best. I'd only use it if you're in a pinch. But there's the changing station over here that you can hide beside, and the ghost won't see you when it comes up the stairs. And then there's also the little bunk bed over here that you can hide behind, and the ghost won't see you unless it comes into this room here. So if the ghost comes into the nursery, then you're going to have some issues. Another thing is, if the ghost spawns in the dining room here, then it will likely path into this room here. So be careful when choosing that room. Now let's go to the purple bedroom here. And then we have this little chair here, which you can squish yourself into, kind of. And as long as the ghost doesn't enter the bedroom itself, then you'll be okay. But this spot here is considered a safe spot, and here's why. Pretend this is a cabinet here. You would squish yourself into this cabinet here, and if you are holding an electronic and the ghost is not in this room here, then this is a safe spot. And what happens is, let's say you're holding a video camera, you have the night vision on, the ghost is going to come up the stairs here, it's going to go around into this room and try to get you over here. And the ghost will not get you. Just make sure you're holding the electronic on you at all times, because if you turn it off, what's going to happen is the ghost is going to go into this room here and get you. So this spot is kind of weird. You would think to hide, you have to turn off your electronics, but rather, this spot is actually safest if you have your electronics on and the ghost is not in this room here. And then moving on to the big blue bedroom here, you have a closet here, and you just do the same method here with the doors, hide behind it by squishing yourself in, and you'll be fine. You can also angle the door this way, and the ghost will only get line of sight of you if it goes over here. And then the master bedroom, same thing. You just squish the doors in on yourself, and you'll be fine with that spot specifically. Do not try doing it this way because the ghost will get line of sight of you much easier over here. This spot over here, you can do the same thing. Squish yourself in the door like that, and you'll be fine. Or you can angle the door this way, and you'll be fine, and the ghost will only get line of sight of you if it's over here, which is pretty unlikely. Now, a lot of other content creators out there are using this spot in this way, by having this door open that way and hiding here. The problem is, the ghost will not get line of sight of you over here or here or here, but if it crosses this line here, and let's say it's over here, it will see you and it will get you. So be careful. Also, you have these hallway hiding spots here, which you squish the doors in on yourself, just like this. However, these spots here are pretty risky since the hallway is pretty narrow and the ghost has more opportunities to get you. So be careful with this spot, and it might take a bit of practice as well. And lastly, you can also hide in these rooms here, the small bathrooms, but if the ghost paths in there, then it will obviously get you. But the likelihood of it going in there is relatively small, considering it likes to go up and down the stairs. But that's all for this overview. Let's go into the gameplay and see how each spot works. Alright, so going to Edgefield, we will start off with the official hiding spots, just like Tanglewood. And on this main floor here, there's only 2. And one of them is in this utility room here. So you just crouch behind this little shelf here, and it will block line of sight. But that doesn't stop the ghost from going over here and seeing you. But normally it's relatively safe as long as you're not dealing with a fast ghost, or if you're playing on 150 speed and you have a much faster ghost. And then another hiding spot on this floor is the garage. So you have 2 sections of the locker here. You just go inside and close the door, hold it shut, and you'll be fine as long as your electronics are off. Next, let's go to the basement. And there is another locker down here. Same thing, 2 sections, hold the door closed, and you'll be fine as long as your electronics are off and you're not talking. And then the majority of your hiding spots are actually upstairs. So you have one in this closet here. So you just go inside, close the door, and hold it. You don't have to close the other door unless you're playing in multiplayer, and there's another person on the other side of this closet. There's 2 more closets in this hallway here. There's also another closet in this bedroom here, just outside of the hallway here. And then in the master bedroom, you have 2 more closets. So overall, you have 8 closets and lockers combined, as well as the 1 furniture hiding spot on the main floor. And that's it for the official hiding spots. Alright, so what if you're in a situation where you do not have any hiding spots available? So as you can see, the closets are all blocked, so you cannot hide in them normally. But that's okay, you still have options. And the first of which is in this living room. You actually have 2 spots available here. First of which is behind this little shelf here, and I would only use this one if you're in a pinch. So let's say you're playing on a really high difficulty, you walk in, the ghost immediately starts hunting. You would go to this spot here and hope that the ghost doesn't see you, and once the ghost is going downstairs or upstairs, that's the time where you would go to this spot here. Because the benefit with this spot over this one is the ghost would require more distance to come into the room to actually see you. Whereas here, it doesn't take long for the ghost to see you if it walks into this room. Another benefit with this spot here is if you slowly move yourself forward in this spot here, you can actually peek at the ghost here. and the ghost will not see you unless it walks into this room here and it goes far enough over here. At that point, you would slam on the key that makes you go left, and you would hide that way. And if it does go far enough into this room, ideally you would have an incense on you. There is also another hiding spot available over here in this hallway. You just hide behind this little shelf here, and you are able to hide from the ghost that way, just as long as the ghost doesn't enter this area, which sometimes it does happen. And also, you can peek the ghost here as well. Next, let's go to the dining room here, and this is technically usable. However, the problem is, just like with Tanglewood, if the ghost gets close enough to this table, it will see you over it. I would not recommend this hiding spot. In fact, there's better options available like this one over here, or if you go into the garage here, you do have a couple options. You can hide behind this shelf here. The downside is if the ghost is over here or it walks over here, it will get line of sight of you. So be careful of that. However, if you do not want the ghost to get line of sight of you, open these lockers and then just hide just like that. You might have to close the door if the ghost interacts with it, but otherwise the ghost will not see you as long as your equipment is off. You could also use these lockers this way and the ghost won't see you either, but if the ghost goes over here, then it will get you. All right, next let's go to the basement here. Just like the garage, you can use the lockers just like this. The ghost will not see you and you'll be fine as long as your equipment is off. And also you can use the lockers like this to block line of sight of the ghost going into that room there. But just like with the garage, if it goes over here, then it will get line of sight of you and get you. Then there's this room over here. You have two options. You can go over here, which I find is a little safer, because if the ghost goes over here specifically, it will not get line of sight of you. It will only get line of sight of you if the ghost walks over here. Whereas over here, you can hide here, but if the ghost goes over here or over here, obviously it will get line of sight of you. So just be careful. Depending on where the ghost paths, then one of these spots might be more viable than the other. Next, let's go upstairs, and there are a couple options in this room here. So the first of which is in this little shelf here. Make sure this door is closed, because what happens is the ghost will go up the stairs, go around this corner, and then it will get line of sight of you from here. And that's because this little shelf here is not quite solid. As you can see, I can place the motion sensor on the other side of that little shelf there, and that's how the ghost will see me. It's getting all of the points in my head, and that's how it sees me. But if you go into this closet here, you can hide here much more safely. You can close the doors in on yourself like this. If the ghost interacts with them, you can quickly close them, and the ghost shouldn't get you, but if it goes inside of you, then it will probably get you. Or you can do what I did in the Tanglewood bedroom and close the door like this. If the ghost goes over here, it will get you. And with the nursery, there are some options here, but they're not the safest. You can hide behind this little crib here, and when the ghost goes up and around the corner there, it will not see you. The only way the ghost will see you is if the ghost comes into this room here. You can also hide here, and the ghost won't see you when it comes up the stairs, The downside with this spot is if the ghost comes into this room far enough, it will see you. So keep that in mind. And then this room here has the first safe spot we've seen. So if you go in here, you just squish yourself in here towards the end, and as long as you're holding an electronic, that can be a photo camera or a video camera or an EMF or whatever, and what will happen is the ghost will go into the green bedroom here, and it will be stuck in the corner of that room, and it will not get you. There is a major downside with this spot, however. When you try to leave the spot, it takes a really long time to leave the spot, and that's because whatever Kinetic did to the player models, making them bigger, it's kind of squishing it into this hiding spot and preventing the player from getting out quickly. However, there is another option in this room here, and that's this chair here. As long as this section is blocking part of the door, then you can hide here, but once the ghost comes into this room here, you're in danger because it will get line of sight of you. You can also hide in this room here by closing the door. Don't hold onto the door, but if the ghost comes in here, then you will have to use an incense. This green bedroom only has the bathroom here, so you could hide here, but I wouldn't recommend it. And then this big blue bedroom here, there are a couple options. There's this bathroom here, but there's a spot over here in the closet here where it's a little better. You can squish yourself in like this, or what you can do is angle the closet door like this, and that works just fine too. But if the ghost goes over here, it will get you. And then the upstairs hallway, you can squish the closet doors in on yourself. However, it is more risky than the other closets on this map because you're kind of squished in the hallway with the ghost and the closet, so there is not a lot of room for error. And the same can be said for this closet here. Then you also have the master bedroom here, and you have two options. You can hide in this closet either by squishing the doors in on yourself, or you can close that door and then angle the door in on yourself. And this is mostly safe because this bedroom is quite big. And just like with the other closets, if the ghost is over here and you're angling the door this way, it will see you. You can also do this with the doors, and it will block line of sight on this side of the bedroom, but if it's on this side of the bedroom, it will see you much more easily, so be careful. There's also this closet here, which you can squish yourself in like this. If the ghost opens the door here, quickly close it and hope that it didn't see you, but otherwise, if you have an incense on you, you will have to cleanse it. And that is it for Edgefield. Just like in the Tanglewood hiding guide, if you have any questions, feel free to post them down below, and I will answer them as soon as I can. The next map we will cover is Ridgeview, which will be pretty similar to Tanglewood and Edgefield, but there are a few differences. But that is everything for today. Hope this was helpful and informative, and until then, I will see you next time.